Hello friends, welcome to the May YouTube Hop for Cherry on Top. This month we are sharing projects using flowers, and today I'm sharing a card that I created for my friend. She's going through some hard things right now, and I wanted to make her day, and I hope that I inspire you with it today. So to begin, I am using Pink Fresh Studios Sweet Blossom Essentials and some inks from the Stamp Market to create the flowers. And this is an easy process. Just use a blending tool and use the blending tool to color over the images through the stencil. And I started out with the green ink, and then I added some blue on top to make some of the parts darker. It just adds depth to the flowers, and you'll see what I mean when I'm done. But also I'm taking the orange and I'm coloring the flowers, and I added some pink in there too, just to add some depth, because I didn't want the flowers to look flat. So if you use multiple colors, you can make it look a little bit more interesting. And so for the petals, I'm actually looking at the packaging just to make sure I'm coloring the flowers the colors I want them. And I have to make sure that I'm paying attention to that, because the petals too are going to be going on the flowers. So you don't want to add an orange centerpiece to the green and pink flower, if that makes sense. So you really have to pay attention to what you're doing. I'm taping down the metal die so that I can cut out the greenery. And I really like Pink Fresh Studios dies. They make it super easy. Their dies are one piece. You don't have many little pieces that you got to figure out what goes where. I mean, their stencils and their metal dies and their stamp, they all line up perfectly. So it makes stamping so easy. So I'm just running the metal dies through to cut all the flowers one by one. And if it's easier, just cut the paper down so that you can get that through the scissors with no problem. And then I place all the cuts out on something so that I don't lose them. And then once I finish, I noticed some white edges on the flowers. I just colored over those. And here are the little pieces. Super fun. And again, I'm using the packaging to kind of eyeball what flowers and stems go together. And then I'm just gluing them all one by one. And I actually enjoy this process. It's just so relaxing. And I didn't realize the camera was a little bit further up than I needed, but you get the idea. I'm simply gluing all the pieces together. And I'm following the packaging to do that. And you don't need to see all that, but I'm just taking them all one by one, and I'm gluing them together. And I'm almost finished. And I ended up not using all of them, but I used 3 of them. And then I'm just going to save the other pieces for another project. So then, once I'm finished, I didn't share with you how I blended the card panel, but I just took some blue ink and a blending brush, and I went along the edges of the card. And then I went to the center a little bit, but I wanted to leave some white space so the card wasn't too dark. And then I just placed the flowers on the bottom of the card so that until I was happy with the placement. And you just have to move them around until you're happy with how it looks. And once I was fine with the design of the flowers, I just glued them down and added some sparkling enamel dots, and they are from Trinity Stamps. They have like a little bit of sparkle to them, and they're so pretty. So I'm using my MISTI to stamp the sentiment that's from the Wildflower Bouquet set. And I usually stamp it down twice just so that I get a nice crisp sentiment on the card. And the nice thing about the MISTI, of course, is if you don't have that first crisp image, you can just reapply the ink and go again until it's just right. And then also I want to add another sentiment to the inside of the card. And I wasn't really paying attention to how I was stamping. The first time I actually stamped it backwards, and the card wouldn't work. See, I should have flipped the card horizontally, not vertically. And then I realized this, so if that happened, you can just redo the process, no big deal. We all make mistakes, and we learn from them and just move on. Yeah. So I'm just going to grab another card panel and stamp the image in there one more time. And then I'm going to use some foam squares to mount down the panel on the base. And I like to use the foam squares because they add dimension to the card. And it just makes it a little bit thicker. And that way the card's not too flimsy. And then carefully line that panel up and press down. And I'm going to add a few more sparkly enamel dots. And again, those are from Trinity Stamps. They are not available in the shop, I don't think, but you can find similar enamel dots at a cherry on top. And all of these products are in the shop. Some may be sold out, and I'm not sure if we're going to be bringing them back in, but you can use the same technique for a lot of the products in the shop. And there's my card. I hope you found this inspiring. I had a great time making it for you. And please be sure to hop along to see what everyone else has to share with you today. Thanks for visiting, and I hope you have a wonderful day.